So wherever you're connecting from, you will do well to let us know in the comment section where you're connecting from. So I've taken out time to welcome you all for this night session, for tonight, the day 2 session of this webinar. Welcome back to day 2 of SOA, Becoming a Master of Family Life Practice. I hope you're all feeling charged and ready to dive deeper into building your dream family life practice. Okay, good evening, Moses. Yeah, so you know what? What makes this day 2 even more special is seeing you all here. I'm still expecting more people to come in. And I know that we have humanity run in our bloodstreams. So remember, this knowledge is worth sharing. So if you haven't already, please spread the wings of friendship and send these invites along to your fellow aspiring family architect in your social cycle. Let's create a community of soaring successes together. I want to see how many people were able to share and bring in people, someone. So if you were able to share, I'm going to scroll through now in the chat box to see how many people were able to share. If you're able to share, please let us know in the chat box. And if you haven't, please do well to share and bring in. There's enough juice for us not just to consume it alone. Someone needs it. Okay, hello, Moses. Good evening. I'm joining from Jos, Nigeria. Wow, Moses, welcome. Ife ER says, Wari, Delta State. Great. Odunayo says, Lagos, Nigeria. Good evening, Odunayo. Susan says, hello from Livingstone, Zambia. Wow, great. Welcome, welcome, Susan. Adenola says, good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so here is the link. Check the chat box. Here is the link that you can share with your friends and your colleague. So do well to click it, just share. Hi, Titiola says, hi everyone from Nigeria, Lagos. Okay, okay, Makodi, yeah. I'm just trying to see what I can catch up before we get started because tonight is going to be out of the ordinary. And we have Catherine here. We have Abiodun Daramola from Lagos, Nigeria. Kati from Accra, Ghana. Ijeoma from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. So, it's coming up. So I'm excited that we are showing up for the day 2. Isn't this amazing? And the amazing thing is that you are here to get some. Let me be calm a little because I'm charged up already, and I know you are charged up. So to break the ice a little, let's hear from you. Where are you joining from? For those that are just joining, I've checked the chat box. I still want to know where you're joining from. Now, who is new to the world of family life practice? Who is new to the world of family life practice? And who's already building their empire of happy families? If you are, let's know that you're doing it already. Keep us charged, keep us energized. Those that are just coming on into the practice, drop a location. Yes, drop a location in the chat and say hello. And for me, my name is Blessing Christopher, and I'm your host for this webinar. I am an associate of Family Systems Engineering. So I'm thrilled to be here. Wow. What? My goodness. I'm excited that I'm thrilled that. Okay, let me check again. Let me check the chat box before I make some introduction. Okay, we have Shei. Okay, Shei Nancy from Cameroon. We have Williams from Lagos, Nigeria. Mariam Lagos, Tinuki Lagos, Felicia. Okay, and we have Felix from Kaduna. Please, let's send the invites and bring in more and more people. Now, here is what is incredible about tonight. We'll be having Dinma. Yes, the Queen of Happiness. Now, to prove that Dinma's experts truly transform lives, we'll be hearing from her soon. Yes, Dinma has been one of those that when you hear her, you know that I am in for transformation. If you weren't ready to serve, then you now have to make the decision. So I now want to introduce to you none other than the Queen of Happiness. Yes, it's time to turn the stage over to the Queen of Happiness herself, the one and only Dinma Nwobi, Director of Studies at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development. Get ready, folks, because Dinma is about to show us with knowledge and actionable strategies to take your family practice to soar to another height. So, light up the chat box as I take a bow and hand over the platform for the Queen of Happiness. Welcome, madam. It's a pleasure having you on. So hello, everyone. Please light up the chat box.
Thank you, Blessing. That was a very heartfelt welcome. And thank you, everyone that is here. I welcome you to this day 2 of the new rules of family life practice and how you can soar in your family life practice. So welcome. It's my pleasure to be here. And I'm always excited when I see people show up, and because that shows me that there is hope for Nigeria, there is hope for Africa, there is hope for the world. The more we show up when we're talking about things for that speak to family life practice, the more we can churn out able hands that will join us in the field to do this work. So I'm just going to quickly go through your assignments. Yesterday, Praise gave you some assignments at the close of the day. I want to check in with the people who have done it. Have you done the assignment? If you have, just come to the chat room and say yes. I know that there were 3 assignments you were given to do. One was to write your personal commitment statement, the value you want to bring to family life, and how humanity will benefit from your practice. The second one was for you to reflect on what is limiting your capacity to bring that kind of value that you desire to bring. And then the third, of course, was for you to write your value proposition, your sales statement. That's the XYZ activity. So I help X to achieve Y so that Z can happen. Do we have people that have done the assignment? Okay, I'm seeing the welcomes. If you've done the assignment, please come to the chat room. I want to know if you've done it and what doing the assignment did for you. Because it's not just, it's one thing to show up in class, it's another thing to do the reflective exercises, because that is how you can really allow what you learned yesterday to sink in. And if there's anybody here who can describe the day 1 class that was anchored by Prosfowowe, what adjective can you use to describe that class? I'm not seeing engagement in the chat room, so I want to be sure that a soul is hearing me. Am I to take it that nobody attempted the practice, or should I say that the people who turned up for day 1 were not here? The people who are here for day 2 were not here in day 1. What's happening? Because I have over 70 people on call, but nobody seems to be responding if you've done the assignment, and nobody is describing how was the session with Praise yesterday. How will you describe it? Tessie says it was enlightening. Which other adjective? Who else? Okay, Folashade, if you don't mind, would you like to share your value proposition with us? Who else? So is it only Folashade that did the assignment? Okay, so I'm keeping my eye on the chat room. Somebody, okay, you couldn't join. I'm hoping that, yes, the people who registered, if you registered for this webinar, admin will confirm if you get access to the recording. If so, please listen to it and then do what you're expected to do. Okay, so I'm getting more responses. I couldn't do the assignment. That's okay, but you still have time to do it. Okay, Fideli says, PF session was expository and transforming. It was life-changing and educative. Fantastic. Somehow, Adeton did the assignment partially. So Folashade said, I help parents raise value-driven adolescents who inspire others. Thank you, Folashade, for that. Okay, so let's jump into day 2. Somebody say it was inspiring. So where are we continuing from? And I'm sure that from day 1, you were able to see the things that have been limiting your practice and what you need to do differently. Fideli says, I help singles find true love, by helping them understand the purpose of marriage. So Fidelis, you have your X and your Y, but there is no Z in your sales statement. So when you help singles find true love, you're by helping them understand the purpose of marriage, so that what will happen, what is the end result for them, okay? Fantastic. So you need to add the Z. The Z part of your sales statement is still missing. All right. So this is day 2. In day 1, just a brief recap of day 1 is what we've done, and people have shared. It was enlightening, it was inspiring, it was expository, and then probably you've identified some of the limiting beliefs that has kept you where you are and that has not helped you achieve the kind of results you want to achieve. And I'm sure that you were led through a belief change process such that you are able to dump those kind of thought patterns that are not serving you. And so today we will be continuing the conversation from where Praise left it off. Okay, I'm seeing more responses. I will come back to that. Adeton said, I assist singles to prepare for marriage and be wholesome beings who will in turn build healthy nations. Fantastic. So we know that the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's a quote by Peter Drucker. And since I learned this quote way back in 2006, it has not left my mind. I have consciously use this quote to activate the way I show up in life as much as possible. Because whatever it is that you desire your family life practice to be, whatever it is you desire your family to be, whatever it is you desire your life to be, how you can predict it happening, it's by creating it. By starting from the onset to know what it is you want, and then to put the systems in place that would help you achieve that. Because not from the seen, but from the unseen. Because once you are comfortable with the unseen, you can create the seen. Like, this is so impactful. You don't have to look like what you desire, but you've put it on paper. That's why I will employ every one of you here. If you've not done the activity of writing your commitment pledge, envisioning your practice, how you want it to be, how the value you want to bring, and how you want that practice to impact humanity, you want to go back to do it. Don't leave that activity. That activity can be the light that will ignite something, an undying, unquenchable fire in you. And it doesn't matter if your practice does not look like it at all. If you're desiring that you want to be able to help 1,000 singles in the next 1 year, and even where you are right now, you've not even successfully helped 10 people, it doesn't matter. See that. But once you see it, I will now take you through the rules that will make that dream come to pass. But if you first cannot see it with your eyes, you will struggle to install it and to build it in reality. So tonight, we'll be looking at the new rules of family life practice for transformational results. What is it that people who are creating results know that you need to know so that you can create similar results? The cheese have moved. It's not how it used to be before, where you wait in your office. Then really, it wasn't office. Because even up till now, my mother still asks me, do you mean that people book sessions? You mean that somebody will pay you $1,000 to work with them? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, so what are you telling them? You're telling them how to do marriage. Now, wow, when your father and I were doing our own, nobody used to tell us so. Somebody paid you. So she does not understand the capacity of what you have before you, because everybody, in fact, I tell people as family life practitioners, we create happiness. We make the world a happier place. And when people are happy, science has shown that they are more productive, they are more creative. Everybody, there is peace in the land, there is harmony, and people can pay anything to sort out their mess and to get the kind of clarity and the harmony that they deserve. It's just, do you know the rules that can transform your business? So the first rule is the law of borderlessness. To say that you can be anywhere and you can work with clients from anywhere in the world, but there is something that activates the law of borderlessness. Your solutions must be able to deliver results. Your solutions must be universal. It cannot be a solution that can be used only by the Igbo people in the Eastern Nigeria. It should be a solution that somebody from Australia can use. It should be a solution that somebody from Quebec can use. It should be a solution that if you deploy it into any tribe, into any creed, that solution should work, because fundamentally the solution is designed based on how human beings operate. The solution is designed based on the science of human behavior, based on behavior modification that is scientifically proven. So it's one thing to be a local champion in your locality and everybody's shouting, hey, hey, hey. But then when you take that, your solution, and you bring it internationally, it doesn't resonate with anyone because it is not universal. So the first law of the new rules of family life practice is the law of borderlessness. How can you transcend color? How can you transcend creed? How can you transcend tribe? It is when you have tools that can help you decipher what the issues are with the people you're working with, be it an individual, be it a couple, be it a workplace, be it an organization, and your tools, even without them telling you what is going on, can pick the danger spots, can pick what is happening with them, can show them, even their unknown self, that they are not aware that anybody knows, because there are psychometric tools that can help you do that. And beyond the psychometric tools for diagnosis, when you now diagnose the person and you know the person has communication issues, or you know the person is dealing with deeper stuff that is stemming from their unhealed trauma because there is no wholeness in them, what do you now do? Do you have the solutions to help a person not only get awareness of what their problem is, but to begin to take baby steps towards the solution? And that is what FSC tools will do for you, because the tools for FSC have over 94% accuracy in diagnosis. And you can quote me anywhere. The FSC methodology is one of the most robust methodology that not only combines strategy building, it also combines therapy, it also combines coaching, and there is and of course, consulting in it. So it's a multi-dimensional body of work, because when it comes to helping people understand what happened in their past that is responsible for why they are working this way, there are some therapeutic tools we use. There's the jar of life. There are some healing modalities that are embedded in the approach. When it comes to helping them going through coaching, defining where your client is and where you want to take them to based on where they want to go to, what is the process? You have to create a strategy. And some of those things have been done. Like we have a tool that is called the Dream Team Formation, helping a couple build a dream team. I'll talk more about that progressively. That alone is a complete solution with which you can work with a family that do not know their left and right. Things have scattered. They don't even understand what to go, but you take them through the process and you can help them rebuild their family. And deploying that solution alone, if you know what to do, would not cost anything less than a 250,000 to take a couple through that, because it's a holistic strategy that delivers results. So you want to ask yourself what you're currently doing. If I take you out of your locality and I bring you just even in Nigeria, will your solutions work across the different tribes, ethnic groups in Nigeria? Will it work across the different religions? Or is your solution only meant for a particular sect? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad with identifying that, oh, I want to be a faith-based family life practitioner. That is within the ambient of it, because you've defined where you want to function. If you want to say, oh, I want to be a family life practitioner for only the Edo people, that is also yours. But why limit your light? If your light can shine all across the globe, why are you dimming it even to only a particular place? So it is the efficacy of your solution, the efficacy of your solution that determines borderlessness. Because if your solutions are only local delivery, then you cannot activate this law of borderlessness. The second law that you should know about the new rules of family life practice is the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. If you are still with me in 2024, you will know that increasingly every day, everybody's attention span is reducing. Not only people who have attention deficiency, hyperactivity disorder, no, all of us, because there's so much happening. Before you're feeding off of this, another news is breaking. So everybody is on the go. And so if your practice is going to take you 6 sessions before you even know what is happening with the people, they come one day, they talk everything, everybody's tired, they fight, they go, they come the other day, man, that means you cannot even activate borderlessness, and you will get drained. You will get overwhelmed. The clients will not even, they won't look forward to the sessions with you because it's so long and dragging. And that was the experience of a pastor who came to do family systems engineering. And so when he learned the Oyela is the body of the tools we use in FSC for diagnosis. A set of psychometric tools that tells you who your client is, reveals your client to themselves, reveals your client to their partner or their children or their family, whatever social strata you are working with, reveals them to you so that you are able to create tailor-made recommendations for them. Because when you don't have the accurate diagnostic tools, you are going to want to fit every square peg into a round hole. What works for a man who is an intimidating homer is not exactly the intervention that will work for a man who is a dependable truck, because they view life differently. But if you don't know how they view life, how can you now work with them in a way that will work for them? And so this pastor, and it's not only him, we've had a lot of faith-based people come to class. And for them, one of the things, like I said, everybody's in a hurry. Time is so short. If you are with me on that, please come to the chat room and let me know, because these days I'd say 24 hours is not enough. Before you do what you're supposed to do, the day is gone. Then why should you spend that day with only one client for hours just listening to story? And the young man was amazed when he learned Oyela. And he saw he could find out, give the couples the marital health check. And within minutes, when he analyzed it, he could detect whether they were having communication problems, whether they were having sex problems in their marriage, whether they were having external interference, whether they were even dealing with secrets and scandals. So you didn't need to sit with them to start telling you all their life history. The assessment just throws it up for you, and it reduces the time you spend with the client trying to understand what is happening. So the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis is very important. Ashiwaju, thank you for collaborating that. He said 2 weeks sometimes. Oh my goodness. Why spend 2 weeks when you can spend minutes? When you're trained with Oyela, what you do when people approach you that they want to work with you, you don't even start to listen. What's the problem? Which one? He slapped me, he beat me, she did that, he does not respect me. No. You just administer your diagnostic tools, and then you analyze it. You'll be taught how to analyze it, and then you write your report. And if you are Yoruba here, come and let me know, what do you understand by Oyela? Oyela is illumination, like literally seeing the person, divination, right? No, Ashiwaju, leave Ifa. That might be the language Ifa uses. But what's the meaning beyond Oyela? When you say Oyela, what exactly is it doing? Okay, thank you for clarifying that. It's like letting you know the person. And so many people have, given testimonials of when they send their reports to their would-be clients, they're like, how did you know this is happening to us? Who told, like, did my wife talk to you? Has my husband met you before? You're like, no, it's just the assessment you filled. I just analyzed it and sent you your report. Okay, thank you. As Shiwaju says, it means wisdom, okay? And so that's what happens. Because it is not sufficient to have the tools to assist your clients. And I want to add there, it's not sufficient to be passionate. And you are passionate about marriages. You are passionate about the youth. You are passionate about singles. It's not enough. Your passion cannot fix anything. In fact, you can passionately confuse your clients. You can passionately increase the wahala and the problem that your client is having because you don't have the tools to diagnose what is happening. It's like somebody being passionate, and then you say, oh, I'm passionate about people having headache. Oh, everybody that has headache, come to me, and you are passionate. But you are not trained medically to know if somebody has headache, what are the likely indications? And so you are just passionately romancing the person's headache, giving empathy, or you say, try drink water, or try do this, drink paracetamol, or do that. What would a doctor do, even if you know what's likely headache could be pointing towards? You're going to ask the person some questions. You're going to have to send the person to the lab to take some tests. And when the result comes out, you're like, oh, it could be malaria, it could be this, it could be that. And then you begin treatment based on an informed evaluation. But many people passionately just use native intelligence. Oh, somebody says my husband does not come back home, and you just conclude, oh, the man is not coming back home because you're a nagging wife. And the word says, who shall stay with a nagging wife is better to live in the roof. So you have to learn to submit. Or you go secretly to the man and say, oh, when you don't, all of that without even knowing who formed this man. Who taught him that how to settle issues is by avoidance? The woman who is at home that is complaining, who raised her? Who taught her what it means to be a wife? What does she know about being a wife? What are the pain points in her life that could be triggered by what is happening in her marriage? It's all you find with your accuracy and diagnostic tools. And so if you don't have tools for diagnosis, you will be doing yourself a disservice because you will be drained. You will spend hours in counseling. Your head will be hot. Your body will be tired. You will be literally dying, and you have not even scratched the surface, and you have not done any good to the client. You may even worsen their situations. So what's happening in the chat room? Okay, fantastic. So what tools do you have? What and how accurate are they? How speedy are your diagnoses? Or like Ashiwaju said, do you spend 2 weeks? The person go don't die now. When you are spending 2 weeks to find out what is happening, imagine how many more weeks you will now even spend to give them the solution. So now, do you imagine for a moment why people are weary about going to so-called marriage experts? Because somebody would have shared the experience, another person would have shared the experience, and they're like, leave those people, they're just time wasters. Because you have not been able to help them within good time. What is another law that you should be thinking about that differentiates somebody who is just passionate? And family life practice is beyond writing posts on social media. Yes, I agree that social media is the new gold. But your post must be something that makes you stand out. It shouldn't be general everything. It should be something that someone can read and be able to get immediate results by just applying at least one thing you say. So the multiplicity of your words does not in any way connote expertise. It is about the efficacy of what you're doing and the result, your track records. And your track records also is dependent on the law of motion sensitivity. Like I said, from the times of my mother, it was strange for them, for people to seek professional counseling, for people to even pay to have a marriage coach work with them within a given time frame and produce the results they want. And then it started to graduate from them not understanding it, from them not understanding it to people now, setting up practices. And, oh, you have beautiful office, you have everything, the ambience is cool, you have amazing quotes on the wall, you dress the part, and then you sit in your office waiting for clients to come to you. That age is gone. It is so gone. But in this age, what you have to do is to master the tools that enable you to go and live with the clients. Metaphorically, I mean, not relocating to their homes. So that's the signal of the law of motion sensitivity, intentional signaling. And so how do you intentionally signal when you don't even have a structure to your business? How do you know what to do to gain people's interest? And when you attract their interest, what do you do to fan that interest and then to move them to making a commitment? And how much of motion sensitivity have you activated? Just today I released a link to a test for women specifically, to take a depression test. And the way this test is structured and set up, there's some elements of artificial intelligence in it. And so all they need to do is to click on that button, answer some questions, submit it, and they receive their results in their email. I don't need to interface with them. I don't even need to sit down and say, oh, 100 people took the assessment, so I'm going to now be manually calculating their results, writing reports. No. So imagine if somebody was talking about how to help women increase their wholeness, and I am also talking about that, and then I give you this link, you take the assessment, you get your results in your email with the analysis, with the recommendations of what to do, as against somebody that you will take time for the person. Remember again, borderlessness. So I've been checking the back end. People that have been taking the results have been even more outside of the shores of Nigeria, as much as Nigerians are taking it. Why? Because there is a method to this. It's not madness. There is a method to make your passion work and bring the client. So I literally took the assessment to their doorsteps. And it's not going to end there. So after the assessment, what happens? Am I going to wait till they come to the office to take the assessment? No. So how much of intentional signaling have you activated in your practice? That's very important. And all of those things help when you have a community, such as the FSC. The tool that I'm talking about that I used to set this up was brought up in the group by a member of the community to say, hey, who is interested in trying out this tool? There's a tool that can help you do that. And then she introduced the tool to us, and practitioners jumped onto it and created that. Right? So it makes the work easier. So how have you activated the law of motion sensitivity? Why would somebody hear you? I'm seeing a lot of people who want to work with singles. So let's imagine there are 100 people working with singles. And I know that we need as many hands as possible in the field. But then why would somebody want to work with Mr. A, who says he wants to help singles build wholesome homes? What about you? What signal are you sending out? What do people know you for? Then even when you go to your social media pages and all that, can somebody go to your page and say, hey, I identify with the languaging of this man. I identify with what is happening here, and I want to work with this person. My husband and I work actively working with couples. And so a mother wanted to gift her children, her child, I don't want to call the sex, wanted to gift her children, one of her children getting married with their partner, a marriage preparation program. And so she said, you know what, I'm not going to choose for you. I'm going to just propose 3 people to you that I know can do the good job. And then she gave them the names of the 3 people. And so later, the son and the children came back to say, you know what, we've chosen Team Dinma and Nedum as the people we want to work with. And so when we started working with them, on one of the times we were doing a review, they said to us that what convinced them to sign up with us was that they went to our social media handles. I didn't know that. My husband didn't know that. And they liked what they saw there, what we represented as a couple, and even how we were raising our children. That's intentional signaling. So as a family life practitioner, you don't want to show up and people are confused. Who is this person? What do they represent? What are their values? Because trust me, everybody is checking you out. Even the corporate organizations you want to work with are checking out your social media handles. The international bodies you want to affiliate with are going out there to check it. I know somebody who lost a deal that would have been millions because of something he or she posted on social media during one of the crises in Nigeria. And so at the last stage of the interview, after doing the presentation, submitting proposal, everything, at the last stage, somebody brought it up and they actually screen grabbed the comments to say, hey, at a time like this is what you said, blah, blah, blah. And the person was dumbfounded. That's how that deal didn't go through. So the person is passionate, wants to help adolescents, had a deal with a big body that would have helped even that passion to touch more lives than the person could have touched on their own. But their signal was not intentional. Their signal was not consistent. So if you're listening, you want to be very particular about that. When people are talking some stuff, there are some things that should not show up in your public domain, even if you have it in your heart, because it is going to give the wrong signal about what you represent and what you want to be known for. So what signal are you giving out? That's the law of motion sensitivity. The next law you want to be very aware of is the law of constant and never-ending improvement. I can talk about this, I can't even overemphasize it because that is what it is. The moment you think that you have known it all, that's the moment you start diminishing it, because knowledge is never ending. You want to constantly, never-ending improvement. The rate of new information is faster than usual. Like you're learning this, something else comes out. And even in the family life practice, you're not just learning the practice per se, like how to get results from your clients. You're also learning the psychology of sales. What are the kind of emotional connecting posts you can write that will make somebody, because we all buy by emotions. Emotions drive people, emotion drive connection, emotion drive sales. Emotions even drive people choosing to work with you, because there is an element of chemistry between, and chemistry is not talking about anything sexual, but there must be that energy of between a client and a would-be practitioner that will make the person comfortable in your presence and can make even the hardest of men be vulnerable. You know, a man was struggling to settle in life. He will do this thing, it will not work, he will do that, because first inside of himself, there was this limiting belief that he was not good enough. And so although he was doing the motions, going for interviews, getting a job, he was not advancing because inwardly he had not even advanced. And so the wife got worried and decided to book a consultation call for him with me. And as we were at the consultation call, I was asking him some questions. I was, reflecting back what he was saying, and he was saying some things. At a point, he said, Madam Dinma, I don't know what you're doing to me. The things I have told you today, even my wife does not know it. That he has never told anybody the things that he has told me today. And it's not, what was the difference? The difference is that constant and never-ending improvement. Because you want to know, how can I connect with a person on a deeper level that will make the person seen, that will make the person heard, that will make the person be comfortable with me and know that I'm not judging him, but I'm sincerely interested in their progress. Is a methodology, and that methodology can be learned. And one of the ways to grow it is by practice and by exchange with a community of people who are on the same walk with you. That's what FSC gives you. We don't only train you, you join our community of practitioners, and that is where you can come every day. People are sharing insights that they are getting, experiments that they are making in the field, and knowledge is going back and forth, aside from the personal knowledge you will do. But a thriving community is how to do family life. Nobody progresses in life without a community, especially if the community is like-minded and they are on the move. So what's your rate of new information? You know, sometimes somebody will say, I did a course 2 years ago. I did a course 5 years ago. I'm done with doing courses. Do you know that new technologies come out every day? And so if you are stuck in the past, maybe your methodology is obsolete. So you can't be in the business of family life. That is a business of life and death. That's what we are doing. We're not joking by choosing. So it's not by force. You can choose to go and be any other profession. But if you say that my heart yearns for humanity and I want to help people do family life better, you are deciding that you want to help people progress in life. Their lives are literally in your hands. Tell me of a medical doctor who is trained in 1980 or trained in 2000, who does not continue to take certifications, to go for conferences, to learn the new improved technologies. Will the person still be in business? No. Soon the person will be obsolete. So what's your rate of new information? And do you belong to a community that promotes continuous development and innovative tools? Right? So what is it? So every day PF is churning out new assessments, new technologies, and we're testing it out. Sometime towards the last quarter of last year, I started working on an assessment that would help people to test their marriage sustainability scale. Then what does it take for marriage to be sustainable? All of the different markers of a successful marriage, communication, money, all of those things. What are the main things that a couple need? And as I was working on it, of course, with the help of AI tools, I created that assessment, which we are still testing on our own before we give it out, because we need to test the efficacy of it and check that the psychometric properties are in place and all of that. But soon it will be released to the communities to use. For singles to know if they are compatible, to know if they have sufficient chemistry that brings the energy and excitement and ease. Those are innovative tools that we keep creating every time. And once we are testing it and it's giving the result, then it can be shared out with the community for people to also use it in their practices. So if you don't belong to a community where you can have access to innovative tools, then you are just sleeping on this passion of yours for family life practice. Is somebody hearing me? Is it connecting? Is something resonating? Are you seeing where the gaps are? Are you immediately identifying some rules that you need to activate? Let me see what is happening in the chat room. What has resonated with you so far? What has resonated with you so far? Which of these rules do you think that, this is the one I need to work on? No. So all these my yes people. Okay, what are you saying yes to? Coach Fidelis, what are you saying yes to? Adeton Chinasa, I need specifics. What exactly are you saying yes to? Is there one of those rules that you think, that's the one I need to quickly activate? Iroko, same there. I want to know which rule is resonating with you. Okay, Fidelis says motion sensitivity, very important. Your signaling must be very intentional, very, very intentional. And you know, one of the things that makes intentional signaling possible is you being okay with your authenticity. You being okay. Many times people want to just trend. People want to just, hey, let me jump up to the new trend. There's something happening, but you don't have the full story. You want to be able, many a times, why people compromise their intentional signaling is peer pressure. So you want to move from the fear of missing out to the joy of missing out. And how can you stay at the joy of missing out is knowing who you are. Who you are, being secure in your identity, understanding, having a conscious knowing of your value system, having a conscious knowing of how you want to show up in the world and showing up that way, even if you are the only person showing up that way, because you know that you know that you know why you have been designed to show up that way. Fantastic. So I like that it's resonating with you all. Fidelis says, honestly, I am seeing my nakedness in the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. Fantastic. So keep at it. And then, of course, I'm hoping that I get to see as many of you joining us in the community so that you can tap into it. The next one is the law of audacity. You know why I'm dancing? This law resonates with me so much. And I'll tell you why. I love to always share my struggles, my wins, my lessons, my progress as I go along, so that everybody understands that we are all human. Some of those things you're trying to set up now, there were times where we did not have it set up. But as we continued to learning and growing, being dedicated to never-ending improvement, we grew in them. So don't ever look at yourself and feel pity for yourself. Feel shame for yourself, because my brother, my sister, we are all a work in progress. But the beauty of it is that when you see the gaps, you have to identify at least one place where you need to begin to do change work and do the change work progressively. The law of audacity. Ideas are placed on a frequency. You know, God created all of us. And so when he wants to make change happen, when he wants to bring a solution, when he wants to do something differently, it's more like a seed that he just spreads along the face of the earth. And so he meets different people. The ideas come to different people wherever they are, in whatever dimensions, based on their level of receptivity, based on their level of knowledge, based on their level of openness. And it responds to the fastest finger. And the fastest finger is the person who has enough audacity to feel the value chain. Let me ask you something. Have there been some ideas that was forming in your head, or you were thinking about it and you were like, I would like to do this. I would like to write on this. I would like to do this one. I would like to do this one. And whilst you are still there trying to say, hey, can I do this? Am I good enough to do this? What will they say? Who has given me the permission? Who has mentored me? Should I look for blah, 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 blah? And then you come out one day and somebody has done that exact thing that you had in mind. And you're like, did the person enter my mind? Hey, see this thing I wanted to do. Now Dinma is doing it. Now Adetowu is doing it. If you can identify, please come to the chat room to say, yes, I can. Or you just say, yes, I can. So Blessing is saying guilty as charged. Why? Because it is not only you that the idea dropped for, but the person who activates it is the person who has the audacity, the courage, the boldness to take immediate action. Let me tell you something. Imperfect start is what you need to embrace. No idea was fully formed before the people who put it out. So I told you, like, towards the end of last year, I started to work on this marriage sustainability scale. I have started to use it. Because how will I know if it is efficacious? How will I know if it is effective if I don't use it on real-time human beings to see how it's working? And then I've used it for 3 master classes. And then the result has been amazing. People are like, oh, it helped me to identify this. It helped me to do that. So imagine if I said, no, I'm going to wait till I am 100% sure that it is perfect, that it is wonderful. Then humanity, the people that it has even helped, will not be able to tap into it. So how fast are you? And let me tell you the secret here. Your audacity is at the mercy of your personal wholeness. If you are somebody who they have said many things to, either your parents have made you feel that you're not good enough, or they have laughed at you when you made mistakes, or in school you were not the brightest of child, and you are thinking, hey, how can a homie bring out the solution? Will it work? Will people resonate with it? Will they laugh at me? Will it be mediocre? You will not activate audacity. Your audacity, that's the only thing you remember about this law. Your audacity is at the mercy of your personal wholeness. So if you already feel defeated inside, if you already feel insignificant, if you already feel not good enough, if you already feel, who am I to think I can do this? If you have even allowed society to talk you into believing that you are not good enough, maybe you are divorced and now there is an urgency, a burden in your heart to help people who are struggling in their marriage, and you're saying, me that could not even keep a marriage, who am I to tell somebody else how to do marriage? Let me tell you, people who are oh, I've lost my thought here. You don't need to be perfect to show up to do the work. So what is that thing that has been eating and robbing you of authenticity, of audacity? Which lie have you believed? Like, who have you allowed to run your life, to choose for you what you can do and cannot do? You are a God. You are a co-creator with the divine. Everything that was revealed to you, that you can picture in your mind, that you can visualize yourself doing, that has been dropped in your spirit, is doable and can be done by you. Otherwise, that vision would never have come to you. But you have just changed yourself by not taking action. And let me tell you the fact, the more ideas drop in your frequency and you don't use it, the more the ideas will diminish. It is somebody who has five talents that uses it that another talent is given. But if you have one talent given, you make excuses, you don't do it, then tomorrow you say, I don't hear again. Like, ideas are not coming. I'm not creative. It's because you have not proven yourself worthy. The one you were given, you did nothing with it. So why should you be giving another? So think about all of those things that you have been getting ideas to do. One thing you want to do is to put it down. I have my notepad is filled with many ideas. And so sometime in last year or 2022, can't remember, this year's run fast. I was telling my husband, the people around me, that this vision that I just saw, that was in 2021, that I got a direction as to what I should, do more of. And I said to them, I know what I will do every day for the next 5 years. And I'm not kidding. What I will do for the next 5 years is known because that vision was given and I'm running with it. And I will tell you something that came up this year. So we're doing our team review. So just to tie up this point. So when it came with this movement, the core values of my organization, it's ease. We call it ease, excellence, audacity, simplicity, and energy, showing up with energy, audacity for the A, simplicity, turning complex human problems to simple solutions, which is why one of the questions I always ask myself when I'm creating a solution, can a 7-year-old understand this? If they can't, the way I've explained it, then I know that I have to go back to the drawing board because I want it as simple that you can understand what I want you to do. And the last one is excellence. And so we were reviewing the first meeting we had this year, how we have lived the core values in 2023. And so part of the review was to say, which of those values have we done badly in? And then badly is relative, right? So which of these values have we not represented well enough in 2023? And by the time everybody in the team voted, audacity was the one that showed up as the one we had not lived completely or as fully. And so we came down to say, okay, how can we be more audacious this year? Right? And we began to put that in. And that's why I said I was going to be vulnerable to say that even I had to do a personal strategy session to explore how to show up more audaciously. And that's what I'm charging you to do. What is that thing that is in you? That thing that, no, Feishayo, this is not what you need to start out to. This is the value of my organization, right? Where I'm the lead coach and consultant. So you can choose your own values that resonate with you. I just wanted to use that as a story, to draw the point on audacity, okay? Fantastic. So it doesn't have to resonate with everybody. There must be something about your organization, how you want to show up. But everybody needs to show up audaciously. Because if you don't take action, it goes to the fastest finger. The person churns out the solution. The person brings out the work. The person gets the vision going, and everything is working out. So where do you want to play in the value chain? By the time you take FSC and join the community, you will see that we have, I'm sure PF touched on that, because people are just thinking, oh, the value chain is just for me to meet with the end clients. I have to be on the counseling table. There's a lot. You can work with government to create policy papers, to bring out strategies that can be used from behind the scenes, and you get paid. You can be one that is a researcher, and then you are bringing out solutions, and people in the field are using it. I love to study. I'm a sucker for learning. So I as much as I do personalized, which I'm going to be reducing progressively, I want to work in churning out transformative solutions, evaluations, and methodologies that people can use. And that is what I'm progressively doing, and then getting people licensed to use it and create the solutions, because that is where my superpower is. So you want to find out, where do you want to be in the value chain? And when you join the FSC community, you see people like, oh, they are dedicated to singles. They are dedicated to married people. They are dedicated to people, how would I call it, who want to marry again, the divorced community. We have setting of all of those units. Then you can identify with them and grow in that value chain. Bring your own unique, audacious value to it, and see how your business and even you yourself will continue to thrive. So I've looked at the law of audacity, the law of constant, never-ending improvement, the law of motion sensitivity, the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis, and the law of borderlessness. So those are the laws of the new family life practice. And like I said, I asked earlier, which of those laws do you think you need to activate? Because I want to show you something else that would help you, how FSC methodology helps you to do all of that. And if you're still with me and this is making sense, please come to the chat room and say, I'm here with you. So like I said, which one do you want to activate? I'm sure somebody is saying, I want to activate all of them, and it's fine. But you have to start somewhere. Make progress in one and then move to the other. Because I want to now begin to look at, what kind of practice do you want to build? Okay, so Moses said, I want to quickly start on borderlessness. So that means that you must ensure that you benchmark international standards. You must ensure that you are having global practice. And then the FSC tools are borderless, because we have clients all over in Europe, in North America, using our tools and creating great work. In fact, in I can't remember the year exactly, PF made a presentation in the Family Life Coaching Association in America, and he presented a data of one of the tools. We have a tool that is called beliefs compatibility, to see that when we know that beliefs form centrally how people do life and influence their behaviors and their results. And so he did a presentation with the data we have collated from people pre-test, before they encountered the approach, and post after the approach. And then after that presentation, even the people in that coaching conference were like, oh, this is so spot on, because over there they've been struggling with working with people of African descent. It was looking like the methodologies were not giving the results, but here was a research tool created by an African, born out of Africa and being used across, and they were like, oh, this would help the African community here. And that was the first place where it was said that the FSC approach is not just a coaching intervention. It is a multi-dimension of therapy, coaching, strategy building. And so if you want to work on borderlessness, that is one methodology you want to quickly begin to learn and use in your practice. So how do you want to be in your family life practice? Do you want to become a competent family life professional that the world needs? Because can we talk about football without talking about Messi and Ronaldo? And if you see, they have in their own practice cut across all of those laws. So what kind of family life professional do you want to be? And I'm going to show you what the FSC methodology looks like. So when with the FSC approach, we don't just go to telling people what to do. There is one of the ground rules in this approach is there are no assumptions. You will not make any interventions, any solutions to your clients based on assumption. No, you have to first troubleshoot. That's what you want to always liken your family life practice as. See it through the lens of a doctor. It will only be a quack doctor that will just come and start giving you medicine. They first of all will troubleshoot to say, okay, with these signs and symptoms, what is likely happening? That's what we do. And so when we troubleshoot, administer the Oyela tools, there's an interpretation to it. Based on the diagnostic tools, it will interpret what is going on. And then there's some interviewing at your debriefing session. And that is when solutions are now given to you. And it's not just solutions that are one-off. Well, there could be one-off solutions. I mean, it is solutions that are more long-lasting. That is why it is systems that the approach helps you to build. All right, such that you don't have to keep coming back to the practitioner, such that you are able to create a strategy towards maintaining the improvement that your client is making. That's why you help them build systems. All right, so let me give you a simple FSC result framework. So with a practice, what is the goal here? Ultimately, the goal of the family systems engineering by the Institute of Family Engineering and Development is to raise a healthy society by producing competent family life practitioners who will assist couples across different culture. That's borderlessness. Build a sustainable family system that works. That's our universal goal. That's our big picture. And so how do we do that? To do that, we have to get practitioners, first of all, to experience personal wholeness such that they are able to assist others. So when you do FSC, you will find out that it is first for yourself. So when I first took FSC as a practitioner in 2016. And that was at the point where I had made a decision to leave banking and then take on family life practice fully. Prior to 2016, I had been practicing by the side for some years, right? Combining it with paid employment. But as I started to say, you know what, I wanted to quit banking, be it known that even when I went to banking, I gave myself some years I was going to be there, and then I was going to come out and face the work squarely. But then I got a resistance in my spirit, and I started to learn what to do professionally. And that was how I stumbled into FSC, but the story is long. Anyways, I came to FSC. And then FSC reminded me of the things that I have been trying to teach the people in my circles to make them to realize, but in a structured manner. That I came home every day and I was telling my husband, see, oh, hey, see how we've been telling people to create vision, but Prince Fowowe has been able to do this. In fact, when we graduated, my husband had to bring, refreshments to class to say, let me meet this Prince Fowowe. I don't know what you did to my wife, but my ear has not rested for 1 week. Every day she's talking one thing. She's so excited. And all of that. So you quickly find out that FSC is first for you before it is even for your clients. Because if you don't experience personal wholeness yourself, you may not be able to assist people sufficiently. And I'm not saying to be judged by your past, but to experience personal wholeness. So we help them do that because it's strategic to improve well-being. And so when the practitioners are able to do that, then they move on to okay. All right. Then they move on to change behavior. Because when you improve your well-being, you have to change your behavior. The practitioners are able to master the power of meaning. That's one of the things you will learn in class, that nothing means anything except the meaning you give to it. And once you attribute a meaning that is empowering to a situation, that determines how that situation will impact you. And I always like to give people this analogy. When somebody comes to you and says something like, oh, you are stupid, typically, based on our orientation, based on how we have been raised, you are like, oh, he said I'm useless. I'm useless. But then what if you decide that, you know what, I'm not going to give anybody the power to put me in the state that I don't want to be in by tapping into the power of meaning, right? And how I like to explain this is, let me give a simple analogy. So you are driving somewhere, and then there's traffic, and you know how people drive in Lagos, Nigeria, where there's traffic. You literally are thinking, are these people losing their senses? And then as you're driving, the car behind you tries to cut in front of you and then hits you and scratches your car. And then you come out, and in your heart, you're like, what the hell? How could he? I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Da, 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 da. And then you come out, and then the man stops the car. You go, you just open the door. And then when you open the door, you see a young boy lying on the laps of the mother at the back of the car with oxygen masks attached to him. And the driver, who is the father of the child, say, oh, we're sorry, we're in a hurry to get him to hospital. What would happen to you immediately? Can somebody come to, would you still want to give him a piece of your mind, put him in his place? How could he hit you? Something changes in you. Now, the first instance why you were fuming was because of the meaning you gave to what the person did to you. But when you now have new evidence, you change your meaning, and the situation no longer has the same effect it had on you the first time. But the incidents that happened did not change. The activating event is still that the man hit you. Whether with the child in the car or the child not in the car, it does not change that there's a scratch or a dent in your car. The dent is still there, but your response to it changes in the light of new evidence. Are you aware that in every situation, you have the power to gather evidence that will help you see the situation in a different light, such that you are in charge of your response? I don't want to go deeper into that. When you come to class, we'll talk about the power of meaning. To say that even in your work with your clients, until you get your clients to tap into the power of meaning and change the meaning, they will not get healed. If somebody was raped, if the person is not able to change the meaning attached to it, it will still continue to haunt them. Somebody lives with a terrible spouse, and you've taken the meaning to be something that gives you the reaction until you change the meaning. And there is a sequence, there is a methodology, there is a modality for changing meaning that gives you the full responsibility of your life, rather than allowing another person run your life for you. So that's what we do there. So that when the practitioners know how to change meaning, they are able to navigate stress, and they are able to deal with external aggression, because you will choose that I will not allow another person run my life or live rent-free in my head. And so with improved well-being, change behavior, then there is an practitioner now discovers how they themselves were engineered and their patterns. All right. And so they are able to, with the work that they are doing in themselves, then these practitioners will now be able to professionally profile and diagnose clients and write reports. There's a whole system to that. That's the OYL I've been talking about. They are able to move away from subjectivity to a more scientific approach, where you are not going to be talking based on what they say. They say that Yorubas do this. They say that Igbo wives do that. They say that women, that all of that is just subjectivity. Do you have a scientific approach? Which is why when people say all men are promiscuous, you're going to now engage differently. So you're like, okay, so how many men do you know? Did you run a study? How many men have you, did you passed through the study before you came to that conclusion? And let's even imagine that you narrow the sample space to Nigeria. How many men are in Nigeria? If we take that, our last census was 200, which I know we've gone more than that. And okay, let's assume they say that women are more than men. Let's even assume that the men are 40% of the population. So that means that men are about 80 to 90 million. You know that scientifically, there must be a sample space where you have tested this. So how many men do you know that are promiscuous, that have been proven promiscuous? So right now, with the knowledge you have, you're not going to just be spitting out words that are not based on any form of analysis, because then you will know that it is subjective. And there's a great amount of people in the world that will not come to you for solutions because they know that you are subjective in your dealings and there is no scientific backing to it. So you are able to understand people's different personalities and their basic triggers to marital crisis, because essentially what causes marriage crisis is either ignorance of self, ignorance of spouse, ignorance of marriage, ignorance of the building techniques of marriage, ignorance of the enemies of marriage. If you are able to gain knowledge in these different places, there's nothing called marital crisis except ignorance. Ignorance in any of these dimensions. And so when we begin to talk about marital formations and all of those different things, then you will understand how to use that to help your clients. And practitioners are now able to independently on their own analyze and give solutions. You are able to get to the root cause of people's problems. That's the thing. Because why I may be a nagging wife is totally different from why Zainab is a nagging wife, from why what's that name? Ifeoma is a nagging wife, from why Damilola is a nagging wife. As much as we are all women, there are different things that have formed us. So if you don't do a root cause analysis, you will not just be helping me by just saying, oh, women talk too much, women of these days. No, that doesn't hold any water, because you don't know me. You don't know who raised me. You don't know what formed me. You don't know the experiences I've had. So if you don't do a root cause analysis, you can't sufficiently help people, because you will misdiagnose them and you will mistreat them. So they have a broader perspective to family life and knowledge gaps. Practitioners are able to build system-based practice, and of course, professional in their approach. You are able to clearly decipher how systems work and how to build counter systems. You know, many a times we think that is by talk. And I'm sure the happenings, if you're Nigerian or you live in Nigeria, you would have learned that just talking does not create sufficient change. What it takes to topple a system is a superior system. And so many a times we want to use talk, we want to use everything visibly outward there to make change happen. But people who understand system intelligence know that how to counter a system is to bring a superior system. I want to just use this analogy. There's somewhere in the Bible, we talk about Moses when he came to the magicians were coming to Pharaoh and they would throw their stick and, serpents will appear and stuff like that. But how did he do that? He didn't come and say, I command you in the name of God, or begin to speak in strange tongues. He just brought a superior serpent that swallowed the other serpents and the case was closed. So it means that if we take that metaphor, that what it takes to create change is to bring another system that's of the same context but superior, and that things just automatically align. So if you're working with a couple, you're working with a family, working with an individual that already has a system of behavior, you're not just going to talk. You have to create a strategy that is in the same context with that behavior, but is superior, and then install it based on your knowledge of the person's personality, the person's love language, the person's personal harmony status, and every other thing, such that the person can adapt this new behavior. Otherwise, you will just talk, and there will not be any sustainable change. So it takes a superior counter system to rise above an existing system. And practitioners are able to understand concepts and systems responsible for societal decadence, including errors, assumptions, and culture. And that's a whole different conversation altogether. All right. So this is essentially what the family systems engineering result model is. Like I said, there's comprehensive assessment to accurately diagnose the real issues, get to the root of the matter, because like Rumi said, most times people are looking at the branches for what is at the roots. And when people have also come to class and even using it for their clients, we have a tool called the Tree of Life, where you do, excuse me, a narrative, reflective recollection of your life journey from your past to your present to your future, starting from your roots and just analyzing your origin, your heritage, your culture, how you were raised, your memories, both good and bad, the significant people. And then we've had tremendous, revelations happen when your clients begin to make a connection to why they act the way they do. Oh, what happened so and so time that made them bitter, that made them defensive, that made them closed up and all of that. There are tools that do that, which is why I was talking about the law of speedy and accurate diagnosis. Then you move to reviewing the session to clarify any challenges with your professional reports. The report is such, you're trained to write a professional report that mimics like how you can remember the kind of reports you get when you go for your comprehensive medical care, where you are giving your results, there's an analysis, there's a recommendation to do, there's a next step and all of that. That's the kind of report that you're trained to write. And then, of course, you go through your family systems result coaching sessions to help the client build the systems that they need to sustain the change that you're helping them create. And of course, all of this, like I said, when even it comes to those of you who are interested in working with singles, what are the things you should be able to establish in any single counseling or coaching you're doing? You must be able to help them deal with ignorance of self, deal with ignorance of spouse, deal with ignorance of marriage, ignorance of building blocks, ignorance of marital enemies. And what can we say about that is to teach them, bring to their awareness who they are. If they are not, their personal harmony is one thing, you help them to readdress that. You help them to understand their partner and all of this. These are essentials. If you are not doing this in your premarital classes, you are not doing a thorough work. But if you are able to address all of this, then the work is thorough, and there are modalities for it and communities you can join in FSC that are working towards singles, preparing people to start their marriage right so that they can enjoy, long-lasting marriages. So, like I said, earlier I mentioned that there is a template with which you can help people create a dream team, like the kind of marriage that people want. So this is a dream team formation template, and just deploying this can make you a 250,000 naira. Because it's going to be a series of sessions that you can work with the client. You first of all help them identify who they are individually, and then there is a sequence to helping them create a purpose. What's the purpose for their marriage? What's their big picture? That helps them to move on to creating their vision. What's our vision? We have a modality for creating family vision. The values are who they have to be for this vision to actualize, and they have to create action steps around it. Many times you see people in organizations and all of that paste visions on the wall, but the visions are not active, right? It's just there because, let's do what everybody is doing. How you will know if the values of an organization is working is if it is broken down even to the list of person in that organization. If it's a school, how are the values of the school being done from the gates? The gateman, how does he understand the values? How does he live it out, even as he's opening and closing the gate for parents? The cleaners, how do they integrate the values in their work? It's not about the principal people having the values. It's about every member of the family understanding the value and integrating it into their lives, because values is how we want to show up such that we're able to live our vision. And there's a way you can also help your clients work that. Sorry about that. my charger was caught in my chair. Okay, so they come and they bring about their skill set. What are their skills? What do they have? You're able to help them. Fitness is what do the couples have to do to ensure that they remain, committed to their purpose and their vision. How do they have to do retreats quarterly? Do they have to check in? Do they have to do open days and all of that? Team spirit, of course. They can't work together if they don't agree. So there's how do you help them build team spirit? How do they deepen their understanding of themselves, their partners, and their purpose, such that external influences will not take them away from their vision, from where they're headed? Continuous development, we've said that. For me, the summary of every thriving marriage is dedication to continuous development by both parties. Of course, there's always a strategy towards what they want to achieve, and their technical crew is how their mentors, their coaches, and all of that, depending on season and what they need in the moment. So helping a couple deploy this is you helping them create the kind of marriage that they want, that they will give them peace. All right, so that is how much we can take. I don't know if there's questions, but before I talk about the questions, let me talk about the FSC course, because I'm getting some people chatting me. So what about the course? What about the course? So this is what you learn in the course. It's a 12 weeks engagement. And after 12 weeks, we still, you have your mentors assigned to you, and the mentors still continue to work with you 12 weeks after school. Now, like I said, I'm a sucker for learning. I've attended series of courses, and I continue to attend because I just love to learn and grow my tool set of resources. I have not seen a course yet where you would have your classes, the modules, and then you are given a mentor all through the period of the 12 weeks in class, and not even after that. Another 12 weeks after class, you still have your access to your mentors for free to help you master the approach. If you've seen any course like that, tell me, let me go check it out. So the training is not physical, like somebody is asking in the chat room, it is virtual. And these are the things you will learn. All of these are the things I've talked about, so no need to go through them again. So what it is, the way the course runs is that it is 12 weeks in class. You have access to the pre-recorded modules. The modules have been recorded. So what you have, you get your timetable. There are certain modules you are supposed to watch before showing up for review classes every Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. And so on Fridays, we meet and review the session, the modules for that day. Of course, again, like I said, it's 12 weeks. And all through where you are in the class, you have your mentors who, aside from what you are learning in class, can also help you through it. Again, you have assignments to do that will also help you learn the approach the more. So the almighty question is, what will you do differently based on what you learned from yesterday till today about mastering the business of family life practice? What are you going to do differently to build the family life practice of your dreams and help humanity create long-lasting transformational changes? That is the question that you have to answer individually. But let me tell you our goal. Like I said, our goal is to produce the most competent family life professionals that humanity deserve and assist them become highly profitable across the globe within 3 months. The course is 3 months. 3 months later, you have also access to your mentors to help you through your practicum. And for this year, we are having 3 streams of family life systems. There is no physical meetup. All of the process of FSC, it's online. The class happens online. Your review sessions happen online. The sessions with your mentors happens online. There is no physical class attached to this training, okay? So 3 streams. The first stream is starting in few days, February 2nd to April 26th. We have another stream in June and another in September. These are the 3 times that the course will happen this year. So right now, the course is selling for 500,000. But from the second stream, we are going to be increasing the fees for the class to 600. However, because you are here in this training, there is a boot camp deal. What we've been doing for 2 days is just a boot camp. And so if you want to join any of the streams, whether the February, the June, or the September streams, and you want to get a one-time payment deal of 400,000, which should be paid within 48 hours, it gets you into any of the stream, whether February, June, or September, even though that the fees for the class is increasing in June. Or somebody is saying, okay, I want, what if I'm not ready to pay 400,000 and I want a deal? Well, you can also get into any of the streams for 450,000, but you have to make a deposit of 100,000 to lock that up, right? So is it that you say, you know what, I will just pay you people 500 because this class is too much. Well, we'll accept that. If you want the one-time deal within 48 hours, 400, you want to get it at 450 and escape the increase that will happen from June, you can also do that at the 100,000 deposit. Ambassador Linda, you will get more details around the team coaching course because we also have a webinar about the team coaching course. But right now, this is about the family systems engineering course. So if you registered for this, you have just joined the mailing list. So when we have the team coaching webinar, you would also get notifications. And if you're following us on social media, you will also get notifications when we're having that course, okay? So the next class, like I said, starts in February 2nd. And if you want to learn more about us, you can visit our website. You can follow us on Instagram, IFED Academy, or you can email us at ekabo@ifedacademy.com. And I think I'm going to be drawing the curtain here. And over to you, moderator, Blessing. Are we taking questions, or I don't know what is next in the calendar. Well, thank you everyone for being great company, and I hope that you took something from the class today, and I can't wait to welcome you into class. Be it also known that I work as the Director of Studies at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, so you will still be seeing my face in class. All right? Back to you, Blessing.
Thank you very much, Madam Dinma. That was incredible. Now, to prove to you that Madam Dinma and Coach Anna press forward, I'm not saying anything different. I'll be bringing up to you one of our graduates. I will be sharing her testimonial soon. She's no other than Temi Laolua. I don't know if Temi Laolua is here on the call. That they will hear from you as well. Temi Laolua, please, if you're here, unmute yourself and turn on your camera as you share your testimony.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, Temi, take the stage, please.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Temi Lolua, and I just graduated this September to December set, and this is January, right? And it's really amazing that even from the first few sessions, things changed. Like Coach Dinma said tonight, it's starting with us practitioners. The EFSEC course is such that you are the first person to benefit from the course. You yourself will be transformed, and you won't just be the same again because something has happened to you, and it's definitely something good. You would just cease to just roll with the tide. You start talking, viewing things, your approach, everything will just tilt towards professionalism. That's the very first thing about this course. You would bye to guesswork. You don't ever have to do guesswork again. You'll be equipped, you'll be trained, you'll be mentored and supported. I can guarantee you that I am living the dream. As in, when you've had a dream for so long and then it has become your reality. It's no longer a dream. That is exactly what FSEC will do for you. Before I joined the family, one of my greatest issues then was the fact that I was just um tired of having to sit down and listen to clients for hours. It was time consuming, it was mentally draining for me. And then I heard about the FSET course and I just realized that, oh yeah, la. That the word, if you know Yoruba here, you might not really understand Oyela. Oyela is um like is revealed, as in you don't need to start thinking again. Like it's a revelation. You get to the root of the thing and you know exactly what to do. So that's the thing. That tool is amazing. It makes you like a god in quotes in front of your clients. So you would never have to worry about charging your clients because you know you're going to deliver. That's what Oyela will do for you. You'll be able to make accurate assessments and then you know the next step to do. If you have to refer to someone else, then you know, okay, this is not what I can do. And guess what? Another thing is that this family will offer you opportunities to collaborate, people you can refer clients to. You don't have to start thinking, oh, okay, so who is working with mental health? You have them already. Who is working with singles? You have people to refer to. So you're not just getting improved, you have other a network of other professionals that you have access to. And that leads you to collaboration. As in, you have so many people you can work with, you can collaborate with. And this family is such that they're not, how people, would not want to share or, lead you to show you the next thing to do. They are willing, as in, the people ahead of you are ready to show you the way and train you, build you up, and get you on that train to be the best version of your professional self. Sincerely, I can go on and on, but the truth is that you won't experience this until you're in the train. That's just it. It's amazing. And the best part for me is that I'm just a month old in the network of practitioners, and I'm making times two of what I used to last year. As in, I'm still an associate, by the way. I'm still an associate practitioner. So by the time I become a full-fledged practitioner, I know I too will be talking in, 6 figures. And I'm really looking forward to that. Sincerely, you will never regret it. And the investment is worth much more. Don't think about the money sincerely because you are going to get I wanted to say 100 folds, but don't let me exaggerate. You get multiple folds of your investment returns. It's something you should invest in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Timmy. That was so inspiring. Thank you, Timmy. That was so inspiring. So now, before we head to announcement, is there anything you would like to ask Madam Dinma before she takes her flight? I don't know whether she's still on this call, but please, is there anything you would like her to handle? Is there any question? You can put it in the comment box, in the chat box rather, and we'll do well to respond. And if there is none other questions, it's been a fantastic night. It's been an awesome one. It has been a transformative night. I know that it's not just me, but everyone on this webinar, this 2 days webinar has experienced transformation, has experienced change. I'm still checking through to see. Okay, someone is saying, is there any way the money can be reduced or paid installmentally? There is a payment platform for that. And I want everyone here on this webinar right now, do well to go on your social media, go to Instagram and follow IFED Academy. Follow IFED Academy right now. And every update that you need, every update you need for the training, and everyone that has signed up, do well to know that you will get your response, you get your messages, you have your emails, but please follow IFED Academy. And if you've been added to the WhatsApp group, look out for further announcements and messages that you will need to hook up. Okay, so now, am I still on this call? Okay, yes, I'm here. Okay. Okay, so far, no other questions. So can I pay for? Okay, there's a message and you have a number there in the chat. There's a number in the chat that you can send your messages to. It's been an incredible night. It has been the incredible 2 days of SOA. Now, it's a wrap. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And remember, we'll be back with an amazing session, an amazing stream. So if you're signing up, then you're ready for transformation. Okay, Madam Dinma is still on the call. Okay, not yet. So if you are signing, okay, Mom. Okay, no, I was checking through. I did ask whether there are questions, and the only questions that pop up. Okay, let me check.
There's a question by Aminat.
Okay, Mom.
How can quiet person, I think she means, I hope what it means is is that a quiet person who has no community and has not been volunteering make headway in the field? First of all, it's interesting, qualifying it with quiet person. So, and that does not mean that somebody cannot be quiet, but if you want to be a family life practitioner, you cannot stay quiet. It's like saying somebody wants to be a doctor and you say you are not going to go to medical school and then you're not going to talk with people. How do you practice? So first of all is to identify a community that you want to belong in, because nobody grows in isolation. And you say, if you've not been volunteering, why have you not been volunteering? What is hindering you from volunteering? Is this something you want to do? Is the family life practice something that you want to do? If it is, then you have to identify what is the immediate next thing I need to do. Is it to begin to study more about it and maybe start putting out content in it? Is there somebody I think I identify with that I can begin to volunteer? Is it even FSC that I need to take? And if it's about not being able to afford it in the moment, what do I need to do to save towards it? So there's always something to do, but it starts from you deciding if this industry is an industry you want to strive in. If it is, then you're not going to just be quiet. You don't have a community. You're not volunteering. Then that means you're not doing the work. So you have to start somewhere. That's what I'm going to say to that. Identify what you need to do and start somewhere. Isioma, my look-alike. Thank you for that. Catherine, I think this question has been answered over and over. How can one get a license after the certification? Right now, Family Systems Engineering course is offered as a certification program. If in the future, the institute decides to license it, we will let you know. But right now, there are no intentions to license it. It is just a certification program for now. That's how it is offered until maybe if in the future it changes, but it hasn't changed. It is a certification program. All right. With the certificate, can I start practicing as a coach? Now, it's important to mention something here. When you take FSC, there are 2 levels to it. There's a 3rd level, but the basic is 3, and I will explain. So after you take your 12 weeks of class, there is criteria for graduating. you have to, we call our assignments home plays. So there are required home plays that you are supposed to do and submit. Remember, I said that you are attached in groups to a mentor. So you submit your home plays to your mentor grades it and makes comments on it, right? So for you to graduate after class of 12 weeks, when I mean get your first certificate, there are conditions to it. You would have submitted and graded the required home plays. Blessing, please. Are there about 7 or how many home plays that you're supposed to submit? I don't know. There's a number of home plays you're supposed to submit, right? Or 5. I don't have the figures in my head. And then you are supposed to attend 60% attendance to review classes. The review classes hold every Friday for now, 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. And you're expected to be in class at least 60% and submitted all of your home plays. That is how you will graduate after the 12 weeks. Because like I said, the work of family life is a work of life and death. We don't want to churn out people who would go out there and they will make a mess of people's lives. After the 12 weeks, the certificate, what you become is an associate practitioner of family systems engineering. That is the first level. Then you are required to go into the field, like somebody is asking, and begin to practice. And the beauty about how this course is structured is we have created the framework of what you should do in your practice time and the templates given to you. So it's just plug and play. Just carry it and go and do what you're told to do. Once you complete that field work, you submit evidence. There's some evidence we want to get from you, which you will be taught in class, to show that I've completed this homework or this field work. Then you would have to show up for what we call defense. If you went to university, you know that after writing your project, you show up before the panel to demonstrate that you understand this. Again, why are we doing this? Because the work of family life is serious. We don't want somebody to go out there and mess somebody's life. We've had people who committed suicide, not from our practitioner, but in the industry, because the person working with them, gave them one intervention that did not work. Busayo says masters. Is this Busayo I know? Because if it is you, don't just be telling me that master's things. You have done more work, more serious than this. So it's not you that should be telling me it's master's. My friend, go and do your field work. Anyways, so you do your field work, you show up for defense. And if you actually did your field work, the defense is a cruise. Because what they are just asking you is questions from what you have done in field work. So if you did your field work, you pass defense. And so once you pass your defense, you get elevated to a certified practitioner. And that is when we can show you on our website as certified practitioners, making references that people can hire you and all of that. And you also be publicly decorated on May 15th, which is the International Day of the Family. So that's the process of being a certified practitioner. So even as an associate, like the last person who shared her testimony, you can begin to work with clients. You can begin to make money. Like even if you take a coaching course and you are doing your field hours, the worst you can do is to give discounts to fill in your hours. But you start earning immediately after you finish class. But you will now become a certified practitioner after your field work and defense, where we'll put our seal on you that we can vouch that you will do a great job. I think that answers the question. Does a graduate become, when you say graduate, did you follow me? The first graduate is a associate practitioner. You don't become certified as an associate practitioner. You become certified when you have done your field work, you have come to defense and you pass defense, then you become a certified family systems engineering practitioner. You get your certificate, you get your lapel, and you'll be publicly decorated at the African Family Life Delegate Conference, which happens every May 15th, the International Day of the Family. Thank you, Catherine. I'm glad you like the process, because the work we are doing is very important, and people should not just churn out, half-baked people who would cause a mess in the society. The process is thorough, but is beneficial to you and to humanity as a whole. Blessing, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Dinma. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I want to believe that your questions has been answered. So now we are waiting to have you join the stream. Which of the stream will you be joining, and how soon do you want to become an associate? That the ball is on your court. It was indeed a Power Pack session, Power Pack 2 days that helped you and I build your thriving family practice. So until then, thank you for joining. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for signing up. Keep soaring, and good evening. I'm bringing this session to a close at this point. It was wonderful having you. Follow us on Instagram at IFED Academy.
To give praise. Personally, for me, I know the changes that have happened in my life. I know the changes that have happened in my marriage. I know the changes that have happened in my family. In fact, my wife said yesterday that she probably will need to give praise, some offering or something, because it's like the husband that she's experienced. Any little thing I do or say right now, she will just say his family system. So for us all, it has been wonderful. It has been beautiful. It has been life transforming, truly. It has been life transforming. In fact, I can say that the things that we have garnered in this program, in this process, I don't know if being in church for 10 years can give you that kind of value. Because like I told some of my colleagues, that the content is rich and the content is transforming. And so that has been our experience. And you see, even the fact that the approach is like you first before you even go out there and try to change any other client is also very remarkable. So if you're trying to do Tree of Life for anybody, do it for yourself. If you're trying to do the Jar of Life, do it for yourself. If you're trying to do Oyela, do it for yourself, so that the content actually passes through you, so that you can deliver, because you can't give what you don't have. I also want to say, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that after like 6 weeks or 7 of this class, I've recouped the school fees that I paid for this class. So every other moment was a bonus. Every other moment was a... So that's how rich and how impactful this program has, and I believe for us all in class. So I want to thank the institute, thank Dinma, thank everyone, that the team that put this together. Thumbs up to you guys. Thank you very much.
For me, mind-blowing experience, of exposure, transformation, and like the person who took us through the business of family engineering said, taking me away from my village sense counseling to becoming a professional counselor.
A city sense.
I've been native intelligence. Yeah, thank you. I have been counseling for almost 20 years, but honestly, this is just mind-blowing. I'd been doing it with the native intelligence, okay, what I read from scriptures, what we learned, like PF would know how to become a mother, what we learned from our mothers, from our parents, and all that. But honestly, the tools that we've been exposed to in this particular class have been wonderful. I took the assessment for myself. I'm still a work in progress. There were discoveries I was able to make. And even my husband too, this is my 26th year in marriage too. And for us to now, we are discovering that there were things, okay, inherent factors that caused certain challenges that we went through in the course of our marriage. And then we are able to tackle them one after the other. And I'm trusting that I'll be able to reach out even to the community around me.
For me, for about a year or two now, or up to about 2 years, I've wanted to do this course, one thing or the other, but this June, it wasn't even convenient, but I just made up my mind that I am going to do it. And I'm so grateful to God that I did it. The belief for my home, it has really, really, really affected especially with my son. My oldest son is an adult. There was a day he just came and said, "Mommy, what about if I marry?" Me and my brother, we decide to marry a white woman. I said, there's no problem. But one thing I want to tell you is that before you make up your mind to marry whoever you want to marry, be clear on your beliefs alignment, your values, your goals, your visions. I was educating him. And I said, you can see me and your dad, we have our issues, but one thing that has kept us is our friendship, and because our beliefs and our values are aligned, so it is working for us. So, Mommy, that's true. Then a couple of days ago, he just called me and said, "Mommy, I want to leave my job." We were just talking. I said, and as we were talking, the triangle life just came up, and I was saying, I'm going to tell you something about life. Your beliefs affect your behavior and ultimately your results. It was during the triangle of play. And by the time we were done, he said, "Mommy, thank you for this." So it is working for me if I transport it to the world. And I have a sister that I've been talking to her about it, and she said, even this afternoon, she said, I am coming in. I'm going to enroll for the next cohort. So I am very, very grateful to be part of this system. Thank you.
I want to